So hi, how you doing?
I'm very good, very good.
Uh, so tell us about yourself.
Uh, okay. My name is Sami
All right,
Ogenenero
all right,
Ejekuko. Student of the Department of English. I'm the departmental president for the
all right.
Department of English, University of Lagos. I'm a food enthusiast. I'm a cuisine researcher and an entrepreneur, a food entrepreneur. So,
Food entrepreneur.
yes,
Then you said something about
food
something
and
researcher.
yeah, cuisine researcher, like
All
dishes
right,
and all
all
that.
right, all right.
So I'm fascinated about everything related to food, and
Wow,
I'm even doing my project on food culture.
wow,
So
wow.
that's how big I am on food.
Has it always been in your plan from day one to be the president of the department?
No, it hasn't been, but I've always been in a leadership position. I was class rep
All
from
right.
year one through to year four, no, year three. Then I became president year four. But prior to that, I was assistant head boy. I've been head boy. I've been like different things like that on the leadership part.
All
So
right, all right.
that's how it's always been.
So, what is fashion representation to you and identity?
Yes, fashion. Wait, what is fashion?
Representation to you and identity.
Okay, fashion representation has to do with what you choose to be identified with.
All right.
Representation, what you choose to be identified with, because um, stereotypes don't really have a stronghold, but I feel trends. I don't want to say stereotype because stereotypes are people's notions like, oh, you have to do this, but I feel like trends actually affect these things. Looking at a situation where I think there was a time danshiki
Yeah,
was trending. Everybody
yeah,
wanted to do
yeah.
danshiki. There was a time when small agbadas for women were trending. So trends
Mm,
actually play a major role because when you see top celebrities and all that doing that. So when I mean cultural, what do you say, fashion representation,
an
it has to do
identity.
with what fashion style you want to be recognized with. There was a time I used to wear only senators. Like I wear senators on Mondays, Tuesdays, maybe Wednesdays. People don't see me on Thursdays, Fridays, and they're like, "Oh, you're always wearing senator. You're always wearing senator." So they already have some identity that I've attributed to me.
Yeah.
And being in the faculty, sometimes when I see my lecturers, they'll be like, "Oh, you look like a senator. You look like this." So
Yeah.
that is an identity that they've carved out with this type of dressing. So that's
But
just
you said something about stereotype
yeah.
do not have a strong hold. What does that mean?
So when I mean stereotypes don't have a stronghold, uh there is, I always say, enlightenment. There is major enlightenment going on in the world right now. People are questioning things that are norms. Oh, why should we do this? We even know about Alte now. People
Yeah,
are
yeah,
wearing
yeah, yeah, yeah.
jackets. So people are going out of the norm to try other things, to explore other things. Like, oh, what about this? Why can't we merge this and this?
And I
So,
think Ote is pioneered by Odunsin.
so you get.
Yeah.
And funny thing, even Day really has been doing that since way back,
Mm,
2008, 2000. So since way back then, he's been doing that. So most of all these things are just, that's why you say most of this is like trends, and they're like recycled stuff, so they come back
yeah.
later and all. Even all these baggy pants that we're wearing.
Yeah, that's
This time
true.
everybody was wearing skinnies. So you
Yeah,
get,
yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
not wearing
yeah.
skinnies again. I'm not wearing skinnies again. So all these things have a way they come back. So when I'm talking about stereotypes, I feel like people are questioning a lot of these things. Like, oh, what's the vibe I want? Looking at your celebrities too, because they're major influences. You see someone like Ruga, see kind of how baggy these things are, and
Yeah.
also Western guys too are doing the same thing. Baggy exercise, wear this on that. So these are things that are influencing us because the world is becoming like a global village now. So people
Yeah.
can learn and see things they like. So that's it.
Makes sense. So how would you describe yourself when it comes to the fashion world? What kind of person are you?
When it comes to the fashion world, I'm someone who is big up on looking smart. I'm not
Mm,
into, when I mean looking smart, I don't mean being smart like wearing like corporate shirts and all.
or
When it comes to senators, okay, a while ago, like when I finished school, I there was this Yoruba demon trend. Like when you go for weddings, you see these guys dressing, whether Ankara or senators, looking all
yeah,
smart with beards.
yeah.
So I kind of idolized that image. I didn't have beards then.
Okay, so that was from.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay,
was what prompted me. So
okay.
I tend to go with a trend that goes with like senators and all that,
Yeah.
because I feel like it gives a more confident look and physique to a man. So that's
All
my
right.
ideology on
But
it.
if you have to look at it, all right, if you have to check like the 2014, 2015, people perceive those who were natives as though they were broke, right? So then I have guys who said, I can't wear native. Native is for
Yeah,
broke people.
yeah,
But now when
true.
you look at it now, it's just as if the trend has evolved, and now
Yes.
many big people wants to be on native, be on native, and
Yeah.
be on native. What would you say has changed from that time to this time?
I would say one thing that changed is I would say it's perspective.
All right.
Initially, I feel like when you watch movies, I would say old movies that show like Western communities like America and Europe. For you to know someone is an African, the person is putting on what all those African stuff with cap,
Yeah.
agbada, and all that.
Yeah.
So they were pushing their culture and all that stuff. But then when you come to here, I feel like there was a lot of Western influence, Western and Asian influence, because there was a time when people were into a lot of Korean movies.
Yeah.
So that
True.
influenced people's dress style. When people wanted to wear blazers,
Yeah.
suits,
Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah.
turtleneck.
Yeah. That's it.
So you
That's it.
understand,
Yeah.
that's what they wanted to go with then. But one thing I noticed is like this is a period of cultural enlightenment. Like people are more aware of their cultures and
Mm.
things. So you get, so
Yeah.
people are trying to embrace that identity. So when you see people in like top places embracing that identity, people that are like icons and people you look up to embracing that identity, you want to be like that person. You want
Mm.
to look nice. Even one thing that is even creating publicity for this kind of wearing trad stuff is the Nigerian Owambe. And you
Yeah.
see content on TikTok and other social media platforms where you see white people
Yeah.
rocking this. You see the
Yeah.
bridal train, white women, and all that. So I feel like when there's some kind of enlightenment about these things, and you're seeing many people doing it, so you feel proud because they're appreciating what you have. So why can't
Because
you
it creates a
appreciate?
sense of belonging.
Yeah, that's just the idea. That's what it is.
You consider doing? What do you think you will put all of your attention in? Because you've said something about you being a fashion person and you being a food entrepreneur. So, which one do you think you will go for with your 100, like with your whole?
It's going to be food. It's going to be food. But although, one thing I've also looked at, because these are like humble beginnings. If you look at GT,
Mm.
they do a whole lot. They have GT food and drinks. They have GT fashion. This, so it's actually something that speaks to us that you can actually go into these things.
So you can diversify.
Yes, you can diversify. But once you have created some kind of brand and a name, you can now branch off and say, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that." Because most of the ideas you have, there's definitely going to be an inspiration. You can't just. That's one thing about ideas. It doesn't just you're the only one that has these ideas, but how do you execute it? So
Mm.
that's just it.
So what do you think about trend? Do you think it's right for people to just jump on trend without knowing the history, without knowing anything it signifies or symbolizes, and people just like, just jump on the trend? Like for instance, Septon is becoming, like a fad, like like a fast, how do I fast fashion. In fashion we have like fast fashion. So Septon is become like a fast trend that
Okay.
people are just upping on. So what do you think about that?
Septum, yeah. I'm still going to put that Septum stuff on the West.
All right.
Yes, I'll put it on the West because it's more there. I'm going to call like top people. To me, Davido doesn't have a septum. Whiskey doesn't have a septum.
Alright.
Burna Boy doesn't have a septum.
Oh, okay.
Say you get those are the people I'm calling.
Do you think if you see a guy on septum, it makes the guy feminine or some sort?
Uh, I can't say that now.
Alright.
That's a stereotype.
Mm.
That's a
Alright.
stereotype. Even painting your nails.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was walking by. I know, yeah, you can paint your nails black, but then I'm seeing pink on it, and I'm like, what's going on? But
Alright.
I feel like, as you said something, if fashion representation and identity, person chooses the identity you want.
Yeah.
So you get. So I feel like what I'm cool with is what I go with. I can't just jump on something. But if you're comfortable with it, there are some designs and some looks people will go on and they won't be comfortable with it. But if you can body it and it looks good on you, you go with it. So talking about the whole septum stuff, to me, I don't like it.
Oh, all
I
right.
don't like it. But I wouldn't criticize you for doing it.
Mm.
If you're rocking it and it suits you, that's it.
Okay, let's make the question more personal. Say you have a daughter,
Yeah.
right? And your daughter bring a guy home, right? So let's say she brought the guy home for daddy. This is my man. This is someone I want to marry, and this man in question
Okay.
has septum piercing. and you just said you're not good. So let's just even say the set on sit well with the guy is, I mean, it's very cool. Will you accept that kind of person to be your in-law?
Nah. Well, that's the truth. Now I already said it doesn't. As far as you're not entering my space, and my
Okay.
daughter is my space.
Okay.
You're good to do
Okay.
what you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a no for you.
It's a
So
no.
it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Okay. So what other fashion items do you think is a red flag for you?
Ah, fashion item. Okay, so this is the thing. Um, I feel like we need to look at ourselves as we're young people.
Yeah.
We're young people. We're still growing, and I feel like there are certain things people do at a particular age. Yes,
Hmm.
that's one thing I look at.
Yeah.
So definitely catch your cruise, get multiple piercings, do everything you want to do. But you yourself know when you get to a particular age, you need to calm down. You are not here again. That's one
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's that stuff is one of the issues that people have with their parents, like youngsters have with their parents, because they're trying to force them, oh, don't do this. But they forget that, oh, this is the age. This is the only time
Where
you
they
can
want to
do this.
explore.
Yeah, you want to explore. Like, oh, my friend has how many piercings? Let me get my own piercings too.
They can even turn it into competition.
Yeah, so you get, oh, she has 6. Oh, let me get more. And then
Yeah.
so I just feel like this is an age where they want to explore. But even though you want to explore, you should know how you're doing these things. You do it in moderation. That's one thing I do. That's one thing I'm concerned
Yeah.
with. You want to get this, oh fine, get this. Once you look beautiful on it, fine, but calm down. Calm down. Calm down. The only place I might see it as an issue is if you've passed the age for these things and you're still there. That's when it's an issue. So that's it.
So how would you describe your own personal signature?
Senator by Senator guy. Senator guy. That's just it. Because one thing is, I feel, because I used to host events,
Mm.
corporate events, and my dress code is always like senator. So if I'm dressed as senator, it gives some kind of alertness, some kind of formality. So it's like you're becoming a character, you're becoming someone professional. So once you're there, you feel like, oh, there is a particular posture you have to keep, there is a particular stance when you speak. Because when you wear something that is attributed to authority, that's how I see senator stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to match.
Do you have any identity you attribute to ladies who wear anklets?
Anklets.
Do
Anklets.
you have any perception about them or any kind of
No,
ideology?
I don't have that stereotype stuff. Nah, I don't. Anklets is
So
just
you're
there.
fine. You're
It's
fine.
just there. It's just there. I feel like it was before where they used to say, oh, ladies that wear anklets, prostitutes, maybe they'll use you for say all this kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm cool with it. Cool.
I just feel like the reason for some of these stereotypes is because people are not well informed when it
Yeah.
comes to fashion history.
Yeah.
So people are not really well informed because anklet is like a symbol of royalty,
Mm.
right? But sometimes people do it and abuse things.
Yeah.
It's just like when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable,
Yes, it's
right?
inevitable.
So people, if you don't understand why you're doing a particular thing, you tend to abuse it on the long run.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's good having you.